For years and years, hardworking, tax-paying Americans have been paying into the most ridiculous, stupid, irresponsible government programs that you can possibly imagine. Hang on to this episode while I get into the top 5 ridiculous programs that DOGE has discovered for spending that I have found. Welcome to CON, the Controlled Opposition News. My name is Austin Zest. We're here. We are controlled by the opposition of this world. This world is so insane and so nuts that if we're the opposite, we actually are considered sane in this insane world. So if you call me crazy, I take it as a compliment. Yeah. So welcome. My name is Austin Zest. We are here. Today we're going to get into this crazy stuff that's going on. I never thought in my life I would see like a government program that's actually from the government that's finding out what's going on in the government. We didn't know how corrupt this was. We always grew up, I was born in 92. We always thought that, hey, the United States was just the most uncorrupt nation in the world. We're starting to find out it might even be more corrupt than a lot of other places. I live here in Peru, and it's very, very corrupt. And I hope these guys bring their equipment down here as well. Anyway, welcome. I'm happy you're here. Let's get into this. So the 5 most insane government waste that is exposed by DOGE. So hardworking Americans, we're struggling to pay rent. We've had some very difficult times. We work our asses off. We pay taxes every day, every week, basically. For this type of stuff. Number 1, $2.3 million studying how hamsters fight while on coke. Okay, now I don't think that you need to spend $2.3 million to see how people fight on coke. Just go down to Skid Row in LA, you can definitely find that out. In a lot of major cities too. It's not even coke anymore, it's way stronger than coke. People are doing all this other crazy stuff. Coke is it's like considered lightweight nowadays. So the National Institute on Drug Abuse spent over $2.3 million, not on actual help, not on actual, maybe other plants and other medicinal values that, that actually will help people to overcome addictions. Not on that, but on, taxpayer money on actually how to study how coke affects the social behaviors in hamsters. So, I didn't know that hamsters were like the number one, consumer of coke. I didn't know that. That's probably where South America, that's probably where the kingpins get a lot of their money. Some of my neighbors might be giving them money for that. Who knows? Specifically, how aggressive they become while high. So that's what they've been spending on your taxpayer money on for that. This is nuts. So you couldn't buy coke on the weekend because you had to pay taxes because, it's too expensive. But yet the government was paying coke for the hamsters to have fun. Makes a lot of sense. Number 2, $118,000 spent on a study to see if Thanos' snap could really erase half the universe. So the National Science Foundation approved a $118,000 grant to analyze whether fictional Thanos' snap from Avengers Infinity War could work under real-world physics. So even though that's a smaller amount, $118,000, still a hard blue-collar working, just busting his ass all day, drilling for oil, you know what I mean? And he's paying his tax when he comes home, he's sweating, he's just like tired. His wife's, yelling at him about, saying, hey, you forgot to pay the electricity bill gets shut off. Yet, here are these guys. Where should we put our taxpayer money? Let's do some coke with the hamsters, and then let's find out if Thanos' reality could actually, erase half the universe. Only $118,000, dude. Are you crazy, man? Number 3, $3.1 million spent on a hipster effect study. Now, don't call me a hipster. Look, man, I like to dress elegant and nice. I was inspired by Men in Black and 007 in the 90s, Pierce Brosnan especially. And especially Will Smith in the 90s. Not really modern day Will Smith, but anyway, he was cool back then. The Pentagon and National Endowment for the Humanities spent $3.1 million. Now that's some money studying how hipsters all look the same. So we got to study that. We got to know that. The study's goal, to understand how nonconformists ironically end up looking identical to each other. The U.S. government is essentially funding research into why guys in Brooklyn have all the same beard and flannel combo. That is actually pretty funny. That is kind of a joke. That's a $3.1 million taxpayer joke, but it is kind of funny. But still, really, Do you really need to figure that out? I mean, to me, that's like a deeper thing. That's like conformist. They're trying to figure out conformist. They're trying to, like Edward Bernays. That's like social mechanisms, like to really figure out how do we control society. It's crazy. They've really done a good job, though, but they can never really quite do it because humans, we're the way we are, man. And the planets and all that stuff, like the influence stuff, man. Number 4, $1.7 million to build a hotel for lizards. So while they're helping the hamsters get high and stuff, they're definitely helping the lizards as well. $1.7 million in Texas was used to construct a luxury habitat for endangered lizards. The project included tiny mini swimming pools and heat lamps for their comfort. Meanwhile, there's American veterans who go to war for these a-holes and go fight in the middle of the desert, and then when they come back, they're wrecked a lot of the time. Not all of them, but a lot of them, too many are, and they're addicted to drugs, and then they're homeless, and then there's no help for them, but yet there's help for lizards. Put the lizards back to their habitat. The veterans are in their natural habitat. They're Americans. They were born here in America. I mean, get out of here, guys. $1.7 million to build a hotel, and then probably a small portion of that went, and then obviously the rest of the $1.5 million, because how much does it really cost to build a lizard hotel? Really? Does it really cost $1.7 million to build a lizard hotel? Okay, number 5, $400,000 wasted on studying how people enjoy eating pizza. So the Department of Agriculture spent nearly $400,000 to study why people enjoy eating pizza. Why do people enjoy eating pizza? Gosh, this is so freaking difficult to figure out. I wish I was in the government because, man, I would be able to help them. I'd be able to help them figure this out. Oh, man. You know why? Because it's delicious and because the Italians made pizza and they know how to make the pizza and they put it on the pie and they put it in your face. Put the pizza in the face of the government right now because these guys are clowns or freaking ridiculous pizza clowns. Tell Dave Portnoy to shut them down, man, and tell them that pizza is good because pizza is good. Get out of here. Forget about it. Gosh, sick of these people, man. Anyway, the research analyzed how much pleasure different demographics experience when eating pizza. The findings, people enjoy pizza because it is good. If it's made correctly. Domino's, Pizza Hut, yeah, be careful because they put a bunch of canola oil and all that stuff. We'll get into that here real soon. The big picture, so where's your money really going? So you're working your butt. They're telling us that you have a debt, over $30 trillion. And remember that big calendar like during the Bush administration. You haven't worked hard enough. You owe the money. You're the reason. That's what they tell you with that chart. It's because of you, useless eaters, they like to call us. Because it's us that we haven't worked hard enough to pay off this national debt. So, you know what? You haven't thought enough. You're not as smart as the elites and all that stuff. It's your fault. That's what they're telling us. Well, good thing some things are changing in the government, but they need to still not get too comfortable. Because 4 years can go by, a lot of things can change. We still need to stay strong and actually stay more disciplined now more than ever. That's why I'm creating this show. I've been quiet for like most of my life because people ridiculed me and they thought it was just ridiculous. They didn't believe me and all that stuff. Well, now a lot of it's coming to light. And now's a good time to actually finally come out and actually start talking about this type of stuff. So anyway, trillions of dollars in national debt, but the government still finds cash for Coke, lizards, and lizard hotel, Coke hamsters and lizard hotels. Maybe the lizards with the Coke too. Who knows? I mean, probably. They're probably hanging out together. Probably had one huge metropolis. That would be the next one. That will find the real solutions. So what do you think? Comment down below. Should the government be slashed to stop this madness? What is the worst example of government waste that you've heard of from this whole DOGE thing? Please comment down below. Let us know. Let's go. All right. By the way, I'm reading off this because I work 9 to 5. I work for like a corporate company, customer service, success and stuff. So I don't have time to like write the whole thing. So anyway, I'm reading it off. Hopefully you guys still enjoy it. Let's get into my really favorite thing, RFK Jr. This guy, by the way, if you watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, his wife is Cheryl from Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is pretty cool. Like, she was awesome in that in the episode with Larry David and stuff. Come on, man, it was so cool. Anyway, subscribe and comment down below. Like the channel. Peace. Let's keep going though. We're not done yet. The dark history of seed oils and why RFK Jr.'s fight against them matters. So RFK Jr., he, what I saw today, I've never heard of this restaurant, by the way, but he actually shows up at this restaurant that is starting to use a different, they're not using seed oils anymore. So if I can find this, oh yeah, here we go. Steak and Shake. Is that like a popular franchise? I don't know. I hope so. It sounds really good. It's actually making my mouth water right now. I really want one. But anyway, no joke. With Steak and Shake now switching, so they're switching over to natural beef tallow for frying. So RFK Jr. shows up. He's bringing much needed attention to this restaurant that's making the change. And he's bringing the attention to the dangers of inflammatory seed oils. If restaurants follow suit, we could see a shift back to the old days, and people will change. They'll start dressing better. They'll stop wearing flip-flops. They'll probably stop watching so much dirty adult content videos. They'll probably stop Tinder so much. They'll probably start doing more positive things, getting out there, socializing, exercising, coming up with good businesses. Stop being on the phone like this all day long. Maybe a little less shootings in the streets. Maybe a little more emotional control. Hopefully a lot of that, because I believe a lot of our health is based on what we're consuming, and a lot of these other issues have to do with this. You see what I'm saying? So I hope that really starts to happen to more traditional, and we go back to traditional fats, because it's in our food, and it's in our water, and it's in what we tell ourselves, and it's in all this stuff. So this is pretty amazing. So before I get into why this is a game changer, I need to tell you the dark history of seed oils, okay? So the origins of seed oils, from machine lubricant to foods, disgusting, irresponsible. This is irresponsible of these people. Most people have no idea that the vegetable oils commonly found in processed foods and fast food chains today were never meant for human consumption. In fact, their origins trace back to industrial use, mainly as machine lubricants for fuel and for tractors. For tractor fuel. So they decided, how it went from engine grease to dinner plates. So how it went down. So they decided that they wanted to make a change, So they did all this manipulation, this slow form of manipulation, just like they do with so many different things. The 19th century, so before the rise of seed oils, people mainly cooked with butter, lard, and tallow. And people were smarter back then, and they were doing a lot more. Okay, the 1870s, cottonseed oil, a byproduct of the cotton industry, was initially used for lamp fuel and machine lubrication. It was later discovered that it could be chemically treated to resemble lard. Okay, cottonseed oil. Okay, well, since we can't have slaves anymore, let's turn everybody into slaves now, but they don't even know that they're slaves. So we're going to do it by creating, giving them the worst crap in all of the food that they consume to make them brainless zombies. And they'll think that they're free, because we'll tell them that they're free every 5 freaking seconds. Because, you got to be told that you're free all the time. Okay? I'm not saying America is like the most amazing place. I love it. I reminisce about it, and I miss it a lot. But free? That is a question. That's a very good question. Because I live in Peru, and there's a lot of disorder, and there's a lot of issues, 100%. But it's definitely a lot more free. You're a lot more free to sell whatever you want on the street. You have lemonade, orange juice. You can sell whatever. Fruit that you're growing in your farm, vegetables. You can sell it in the street. That's freedom as well. Okay, 1911, Procter & Gamble introduced Crisco, a hydrogenated cottonseed oil product marketed as a cheaper alternative to lard. They convinced the public that animal fats were dirty, while seed oils were clean. Disgusting, horrible people. Can you believe that? That they actually convinced people that and that took a long time, right? And we're going to see right now. So the 1940s so World War II. After World War II, a lot changed, by the way. TV dinners and the whole thing. Aluminum cans and all that stuff. Come on. This is really important. The U.S. government encouraged the production of soybean and corn oils as part of wartime food rationing efforts. Don't let them drag us into this stuff, into these wars. Don't let them do it. We're not going to do it. Okay? The U.S. government encouraged the production of soybean and corn oils as part of these oils were cheap and abundant, making them easy to push into the food supply. So the 1960s to the 80s, the American Heart Association, influenced by funding from major food corps, pushed the narrative that saturated fats, butter, and lard were unhealthy, while seed oils were heart healthy. Okay, this led to massive shift in dietary habits. 1990s through present, fast food chains, snack companies, and restaurants switched to seed oils because they were cheaper and had a longer shelf life than traditional animal fats. Today, they are nearly found in every single processed foods and linked to chronic inflammation, obesity, and heart disease. If you're not pissed off right now, you should be, because we are being robbed of our vitality and our life. And your parents are, and your grandparents, and you have any family member who's died from this stuff, you need to wake up. And look, life can be so much better than it is right now. It can be unbelievably better. You have no idea. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I know that life can be an absolute heaven on earth, dream come true. It's possible. But we have to really, I think now is the time to really stand up and start educating each other and other people. Comment down below. Let's be positive. Let's work together. I don't have everything completely 100% on track right there, but I'm on my way, and we are on our way, and let's figure stuff out. So the health risks of seed oils. Now, here's the thing. High in omega-6s, so unlike traditional animal fats, seed oils are loaded with omega-6 acids, which actually disrupt the body's balance and lead to chronic inflammation. And so much death is caused from inflammation, oxidation, and free radicals. So when heated, seed oils become highly unstable and produce toxic compounds that damage cells and contribute to cancer and heart disease. Linked to obesity and insulin resistance. Studies suggest that excessive seed oil consumption is one of the main drivers of metabolic disorders, including obesity and diabetes, affecting mental health. So emerging research shows that diets high in seed oils may contribute to anxiety and depression. How many people are killing themselves? How many people are in drug addiction because of anxiety and depression? How many people feel lost and confused? Now, further reinforcing RFK Jr.'s recent statements about the link between food and mental health. We need to support him. We need to help him. He's up against a big fight. And the biggest fight is, honestly, the American people who don't want to wake up and really see what's going on and understand that all the food, they need to stop buying the crappy foods all the time. They need to stop going to KFC. When they're tired, they need to cook. They need to stop giving their kids this stuff, McDonald's, just because it's convenient. Please. I know it sucks. I know it sucks to make your food and stuff, but please, we are entering in a time that is very serious. Speaking of this seriousness, let's get into the Ukraine war. Ukraine attacked sleeping civilians in Moscow while talking peace in Saudi Arabia with Americans. Now, terror in the night, Ukraine launches a drone strike on Moscow civilians. Do these guys really want peace? I don't think so. I think this is ridiculous because they are actually, Europe is a big problem right now. I always thought it was the United States. Definitely the CIA and a lot of these bad actors, the neocons and stuff. These guys definitely for sure have a big part. But they're linked up with these people in Europe too. But Europe at the same time wants to be the empire again. They want to be like the new Roman Empire, and they're not happy with America, being on top still, and stuff, especially right now, because now we actually want to do some good. Because I'm tired of it, and I think a lot of Americans are tired of it, and we're cleaning up shop. And Europe, man, they want to be the new, it's crazy. Cut off one head and then another one grows. And it's just so crazy how it goes. And now you see Europe being the main people here. They're trying to instigate the war. Look at Stammer in England. He is giving more billions of dollars to Ukraine to keep the war going. They think they can do it. They think they can beat Russia. Russia has like $75 trillion in resources. So they think if they overcome Russia, they can be the dominant power in the world and overcome America and China and everybody. Well, it's like a crazy dream, man, but I guess that's what they're really trying to think. So in a shocking act of escalation, Ukrainian forces launched a massive drone strike on Moscow during the early morning hours while civilians slept in their homes. According to reports, 69 Ukrainian drones were intercepted by Russian air defenses, but at least one person was killed and multiple civilians, including children, were injured. Drones reportedly hovered outside apartment windows before exploding, sending metal bearings flying into homes. Eyewitness footage captures drones striking residential buildings, showing widespread damage. Just hours later, Ukrainian officials met with U.S. diplomats in Saudi Arabia for peace talks, raising questions about the whole motive behind their actions. So why would they do that right before the peace talks? It's like they're just showing like a complete and utter defiance. Like, we don't want peace. We don't care. We're going. We got Europe. You know, this is really turning into something very serious now. Western hypocrisy. When will the media call this out? So yeah, they're of course silent, right? Despite Ukraine's direct attack on innocent civilians, they're still the victims. Of course, they're the victims. Now, and I think a lot of that was going back to 2015. I don't know all the details on that, but maybe somebody in the comments can say exactly what happened during that time. But I know there was some instigating and stuff to Russia, and they had enough. So despite Ukraine's attack on the same Western leaders funding Ukraine's war machine are refusing to acknowledge these attacks as terrorism. Secretary of State Marco Rubio admits Ukraine must surrender territory to Russia, signaling that the U.S. is aware that Ukraine cannot win this war militarily. Reports suggest Trump is pushing for Zelensky to step down, calling for major changes in Ukrainian leadership. So this is just crazy stuff. So anyway, a little bit more. Trump's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff is set to meet with Putin for direct negotiations, marking a shift in the U.S. strategy. So I know finally the U.S. and Russia are talking again. And after those last 4 years of silence, now they're talking. They're starting to open up embassies. They're starting to negotiate a little bit. Europe does not want that. So they're kind of, they're doing some desperate measures now. So why is the Biden-Obama EU coalition still fueling this war while secretly admitting Ukraine needs to surrender? So this is just crazy. Is this about freedom and democracy or an attempt to push for World War III? It's a good question, man. I mean, all this stuff just leads to us as individuals needing to take control back of our own lives, our own government being back in control. So you cleaning up your system. You don't have to be perfect all the time and everything, but this is a time that we need to be strong and talk. This is why I'm talking about this stuff now, because in the past I just wasn't ready, and now I feel more ready to talk about these types of things that are really important. So please subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content, and we're going to keep creating more. My name is Austin Zest. Welcome to Controlled Opposition News, where we're controlled by the pineal gland, the decalcified pineal gland, and we're looking for a better world. Much better job. We can definitely do much better job. Let's create a better world. Let's make it right. In the new world, right? We're doing too much of this that we're down. You know how it is. Oh yeah, watch this. Get out there, do something active, helping in this adventure. All right, take care. Peace.